Alright, honestly, I've got no plan on what to talk about in this video, so we're just gonna wing it. This is week 1 of this training block. I'm 2 training blocks out from competition, so we got this one and then one more. And some drama going on with the competition right now. It's supposed to be in Rancho Cucamonga in Southern California. And there is looking like it's a good chance that it might get canceled, because there's only 12 lifters registered, and the meet director is saying we need at least 30. So, yeah, that's the whole thing going on right now. This is the first time I've tried a barbell bench press in about 2 weeks, and wide grip is still not even close to being doable with just the empty bar, but a close grip is okay. So, and then the farther down on the range of motion, also the worse it gets. So I was doing some close grip photo presses, but right here, as soon as I went up to 80 kilos, it's like 176 pounds. It wasn't having it. It was immediately shot up from like a 0 out of 10 out of blue up to like 5, 6 out of 10. And it was just going to get worse if I kept going. So that was pretty frustrating. And even though I have been able to do some chest press and a couple other movements for the last couple of weeks, after that bench press, it was just pretty aggravated and I wasn't able to do anything else. So basically just did some rows and went home, and I didn't record anything, and I was just frustrated. So this is Wednesday now. We're back to doing low bar twice a week. This is the norm, going back into quote unquote meet prep. I also started to play around with my squat stance a little bit. Not quite on this set. I think it was the next set, so maybe it was the next day completely. But anyway, at Nationals in 2021, I got all whites for my squat depth, but Nationals 2022, and then Nationals 2023, I almost bombed on squat depth. And even the local competition that I did before that, I got all whites. So I'm not really sure what exactly changed about the standard of depth from one year to the other at Nationals, especially because it seemed like my platform was extra strict in particular, but it's because in whole different things. My hips are tilted pretty bad, and my right side is always higher than my left side. And so that's something that's always made depth a little off. It's because one side is way deeper than the other. And from the side, they look very off. And so I think it was just a specific case of my left hip being perfect depth, and my right hip then being high, and then the head ref looking into my right hip from the front. And the head ref was actually giving red lights on depth at the meet, which is really fucking annoying, because honestly, I don't believe the head ref should be looking at depth. And I am a referee myself as well. I was taught that as well. Anyway, we'll circle back to this. Deadlifts this day felt really good. Started like just kind of remembering some old cues, remembering some old slack pulling cues and some old wedging cues that I kind of fallen out of practice with, and it was really, really, really good, really on point. Even added a paused single after my volume sets, and it flew. So I was really happy with that. Onto the hack squats here. I did some high rep stuff at 3 plates, and I was fucking sore after this. My quads were pretty wrecked for the next couple days. It wasn't until Saturday that they started feeling normal again. And I did some chest press on this day. I decided I'm just not touching a barbell for a bit again, and these were all good. I had no issues. It didn't get aggravated, and it's a little bit annoying because I can tell that I'm getting a little bit weaker because I'm just not able to train pressing very hard. But yeah, so on to Thursday. This is normally a day where I just do bench and accessories, and I decided to try out some neutral grip dumbbell bench, or at least try out dumbbell bench, and then try out different ranges of motion and different grips and different angles to see if anything felt better or worse. And I was able to do some regular dumbbell bench with my arms at about 45 degrees, a little more flared out, up to 45 pounds. And then that started hurting a little bit. But if I turn the dumbbells a little more neutral position, tuck my elbows in a little bit more, I was able to bench up to 65 pounds on dumbbell bench. So that's pretty decent. And dumbbell overhead press is also pain-free. So it's 2 more pressing movements that I'm able to train, even if I can't do a barbell bench press yet. This did give me some ideas though. There's the Swiss bar, or the football bar. It's got some different names, but it's a barbell that has neutral grips, or sometimes has 45-degree angled grips. And so we do have one of those at the gym. So I decided that I was going to try that bar on Saturday and see how it went. Rest of accessories on this day. Did some rows and some face pulls and some lateral raises and some curls. Back to doing everything for like 10, 12 plus reps, since the majority of my barbell work is now back into the moderate rep range. I kind of like to contrast those two. So when I'm doing a lot of high volume barbell work, I will do typically like 6 to 10 reps on my accessories. And now that my main lift work is back into the moderate strength rep ranges, I am pushing accessory rep ranges back to like 10, 12, 15 plus. On to Saturday here, the main heavy day of the week. So yeah, like I was saying with the squat depth thing, I think I just had the perfect storm of the worst case scenario at nationals, where I had pretty much perfected the perfect depth, but really it was the perfect depth on one side, and the other side is high because my hips are that uneven. And then the head ref, although they're usually not supposed to look at depth, this particular head ref was watching depth, and he happened to be positioned in a way that he was looking at my right hip, which is my hip that is high. So it's just kind of like an unfortunate circumstance there, but that's all right. So I want to adjust that, obviously, and with this moderately wide, very toes forward stance that I have, I feel extremely strong and extremely powerful, but it's less consistent with depth, and it's harder to get extremely deep, especially convincing depth on my right side. So decided to shift things around just a little bit, point my toes out just a little bit, and get a tiny bit more external rotation. And it does feel a good bit deeper. From the front, it looks a good bit deeper. I did record a side angle from my right side here, and I do think this looks a good bit deeper. My right hip now, to me, looks borderline. This looks like it's just barely maybe hitting depth. And that would be arguable, debatable, depending on who you're asking under what scenario. But that means that my left hip is like multiple inches below depth. So that's about as good as it gets for me, to be honest. There's not much more room there. So this is the Swiss bar I was talking about, and this is decent. It's okay. I did like 10 sets of 5 total with 70 kilos, and then up to 85 kilos here, and it got up to like a 3 out of 10 pain, and it's okay for now. So hopefully we can just keep kind of chipping away at that until I can get to maybe a close grip full range of motion. Maybe, I don't really know. We're definitely a good bit away from my wide competition grip through full range of motion, that's for sure. And deadlift today, continuing to hone in on the previous cues that I've mentioned, and it felt really, really good again. I felt pretty locked in, pretty dialed. The goal today was not anything super heavy. I just wanted to pull like over 500 with, and make it move fast, make it move smooth, make it feel easy. That was my main goal here, and that's pretty much what we did. Also going to be committing to hook gripping everything this block. So I always say I hook grip reps 3 and under, and everything this block is reps 3 and under going forward. So my thumbs are taking a beating by this point, but I still held on to everything, and pretty happy with that.